All right, and now we're pre-show. Hello, 0 people who are watching us currently. I'll make the post saying we're live. And guys, I am being a total fat kid right now because I had a big-ass lunch, courtesy of my coworker who owed myself and my other coworker lunch. And I'm just like, you know what? I should stop on the way home and get some Cold Stone because why the fuck not? A little sugar goy slop in the evening. I'm off tomorrow. It's a good way to end the past couple working days, I think. I will not be having a beer with it, unfortunately, because I don't know, a beer and ice cream, like it's kind of savage. Diabetically savage. He's just lost, just watching. We're like, are you coming back, man? Like, welcome.
Okay, I'm back.
Excellent. Cool. We've got somebody watching. Hello, whoever you are. So feel free to say hi in the chat. I just kicked the live post up on Tumblr.
Okay, then there. I'll boost the algorithm. What's better than one watching? Two. 100% increase and hit that like button.
Hit that like button. If we've got a subscribe button, hit that too. I think we do. Yeah, we're cool like that.
We oughta. Yeah.
We oughta. So, very exciting start to the week, I'll say. Like I said in the show description, Trump and the U.S. military pulling in. Hang on, I worded this a specific way. And uno reverso blockado, cuz. Yeah. Uno reverso blockado, cuz! And another one is just like, you can't blockade. They're already it's their strait. And they're like, well, we're going to blockade it too. And it's like, okay, we'll see what happens now. It's like.
I like the idea that the EU and China will also implement their own blockades each, like in a special line.
North Korea.
Like a $2 million like Bitcoin fee. Like
North Korea is going to send like 2 ships.
We'll see what they can get away with, but like probably not 2 million, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. You get like that. Hang on, I need to get some paper towels. I'll be right back.
It's just at what point just like having this is a thought to share with Ben, but he'll be right back. Wow, that's a big roll of paper towels. There he is. He's coming back with it. Okay, he's got it. He's almost got his headphones on. And we're back.
We're back. What were we talking about?
This makes me almost wonder if like what's the operating cost of having a CRAM on each like tanker ship?
Oh yeah.
And they're just gonna be at like a certain point. They're just like, yeah, it's cheaper to just run a CRAM.
It's cheaper to just run the CRAM. Oh man, that'd be great. Civilian CRAMs. Which, you know what? Yeah, the Second Amendment does state that you should be able to own a CRAM.
No, international shipping, like defense, merchant navy ships, etc., like are all entitled to defensive weapons of whatever they want. Like you watch like the people, like there was like this spat of like maybe 3 years where like they maybe thought they could get away with or there was the whole Somali pirate thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
And like the merchant ships got savvy to it, and they're like, yeah, we're not just gonna like let that happen. And they started hiring like progressively better armed mercenary like detachments to defend the ships. and stuff as they're going around the Cape.
Hmm.
Uh, I guess it's the Horn of Africa, but
It
whatever.
is, yeah.
Not the Cape of Good Hope. Although soon that
Soon.
could be a place where you might want to hire mercenaries.
Soon, maybe. We'll see. Mercenary
But
work might get really good in the next couple of years.
so they yeah, there was just like a few years where like I guess the word was not spreading fast enough to Somali pirates that like these ships were armed now, and there was just like some really great onboard footage of
Yeah,
just like lighting up Somali pirates
just getting
for a while.
destroyed. Yeah. And then they were like, oh shit, we should probably not be doing this anymore. But when that was at its peak, that was like early 2010s, right? Maybe like late 2000s.
Yeah, I think it was mid 2010s.
Okay, because I remember I had some friends. There was one friend in the Navy, and he was basically putting together this idea where we would offer like armed escorts for ships around like the Cape of Africa or the
Mhm.
Horn, excuse me. And the idea would be that we were going to buy like some like pre-owned old Coast Guard vessel or something like that, something large enough, have like maybe, I don't know, 6 to 10 dudes on there for like a couple weeks at a time. And we were going to basically mostly keep it operating in international waters for the escort process. But whenever we needed to, like, let's say we needed to go to land and get supplies or something like that, we would have like a smaller, I don't know, maybe like a Zodiac or something, where we'd be able to go and get like food, water, medical supplies, like whatever we would need,
But here's the thing: do
transfer.
you go to Mogadishu for the food and
No,
water?
no, no, absolutely not. No. unless we have, unless we happen to have a, unless Marcel is part of the crew, then maybe he might be able to negotiate our way out of that. But the idea would just be that we would operate this like out of international waters, and we would essentially just take private contracts, and we could get around everything because, like you said, in international waters, you can have defensive weaponry. And it did definitely get to the point where we were starting to look at like decommissioned, like very light patrol boats that had like actual mounting like equipment on them for like heavy machine
Here's the
guns and
thing: is
stuff.
those are no good in deep sea
Yeah,
conditions. Like,
that's yeah.
okay to launch from like a larger vessel for like a
Hmm.
sporty out to like
Hmm.
intercept, and that's what the Navy uses them for. But like, you need like 100 feet of stern to fucking navigate like deep sea waters. Like, good luck even sailing there in the first place. With that shit, that's
Yeah.
where like you you have to know somebody maybe,
Hmm.
and like the Soviet like surplus market that would be like, oh yeah, we have like this merchant tanker that or like not even tanker, but like we have this merchant vessel that's
Hmm.
like got a decent hold that you could build out as a crew quarters and like storage and
Hmm.
stuff like that, and then but it's like solidly built, but
Hmm.
also like can be sailed, or um am I thinking the right word? It it's seaworthy
It's
for
seaworthy
like
for like
deep
deep sea, like
sea.
transatlantic or trans-Pacific.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then but also like it's got a decent shell, like because of obviously they were just using hard iron
Yeah.
to make that shit.
Mm.
And like it's m-
Pretty
s-
thick.
small arms,
Yeah.
impervious, and then
Mm.
you can mount whatever you need to mount on it, right?
Yeah,
Like
we were
on the
looking
way
at.
over to the Horn of Africa, like you drop into like Liberia and
You're just
like,
like, hey, you guys got any
hey,
Bofors
I
lying
need like
around? Like,
I need like 5 PKMs. Like that's
actually, if you found the right person in like the surplus market, you could probably get like an anti-aircraft gun with like the proper setup to actually like hit that low. Maybe you make like a special platform for it where it gets a little lower, like down there, like maybe like a 30 mil or something like that. Just
for ships. What the Somali pirates were only ever using like fast,
yeah.
like you could probably sink them with enough like 7.62 NATO
I mean,
if
you
you really.
could, But what if there's like more than one ship? What if they're like mass swarm? There's like 7.
See, they're not really that well organized, I
But
think I find.
what if they're counting? They get like some really, really, really smart warlord with like an IQ of like 85. And they're like, hey man, what if we like do a mass attack? Because they don't expect us to be that organized. So we're going to launch like 10 to 15 ships, like small attack craft at the same time and just start overwhelming these vessels. It would work for the first couple of times probably. And then like, there'd be an appropriate response. Then they'd
Yeah,
be
but
like, yeah, man, let's get the
right.
30 mil. Let's mount that up there. Or like, maybe not that big. Maybe we could go like a smaller, like a 20 mil. Just something like just
But
relatively
here's the thing,
compact.
if you're sorting, like if you're defending like a tanker or what other kind of cargo, like tanker,
Mhm.
not a cargo, tanker or cargo ship going around the Horn.
Mhm.
That's a big ship with tall walls.
True.
And presumably while you're defending it, like, yeah, you got your response vehicle that is your home base of operations, but also you're up on the walls of the
True.
vehicle of the major
Hmm.
ship. And like, to be real, like, what are they going to do? Grappling hook up the sides of this cargo tanker?
They'll bring ladders with like hooks on the end and they will.
Yeah, they'll bring it. Exactly. And that's where it's like, all they need is a fucking stick of dynamite, bro. Like,
Yeah,
I don't even need a
it's true.
real grenade.
True.
Like, I'm just gonna light a
But
stick
like
of dynamite
if we're talking
and
like in
off the
terms
side
of
of the
internet
boat.
entertainment value, watching a bunch of Somali pirate ships disintegrate from 20 millimeter fire would really do well in terms of bringing in advertising clicks for all the people
Where's
that would watch
Mr.
that.
Beast on this?
Where's
Best
Mr.
animation.
Beast? Oh my god.
This is prime like YouTube material.
It would be perfect for him. All right, I'm going to play the intro and then we'll start talking about stuff more seriously. Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Anti-Happening Podcast. This is episode 208, Theft Day. It's April 15th, and I will not say Happy Theft Day because taxation and theft is not a happy thing. But, yeah, it's tax day, so we hope you got your paperwork filed, or we hope you
You
got your...
got a little return.
You got a little
Maybe you
return?
got a large return.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe you owed a little
um
bit.
maybe if you owed a little bit, you're doing it wrong.
Exactly, man. But, however, if you're also getting a large tax return, unless you're getting some kind of special tax credit, you're also doing it wrong.
Yeah, you don't want to give the government like interest-free loans.
Exactly.
Right?
Like, that's the thing. Like, people get excited if they're like, oh man, I got like all this money back in my return. And it's like, are you getting tax credits? No. Oh, well, that's because you're overpaying in taxes. You should take a look at your W-2 and you should figure that out. Because, yeah, you're giving
Yeah,
the government an interest-free loan.
yeah. It's the um interest deduction on mortgage
Mm-hmm.
interest is like a huge subsidy towards home ownership in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I don't think personally it benefits me.
Mm-hmm.
In a neutral tax code, like, it's probably like it should be a wash.
Mm-hmm.
Just like boat loan interest
Boat loan
should
interest?
probably not be subsidized as tax-free refundable interest.
You can do
Did you
that
know
on a
about that?
boat loan? I didn't know that. You could do that on a boat loan?
Wait, you haven't seen this?
No! No! Tell me!
I gotta screen share this because
Is this like a meme or is this serious?
yeah, this is serious.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah.
Representative Nancy Mays, let me share this.
Okay. Oh, geez. Oop,
Do you see it?
hang on. Okay. Yes. No tax on boatload.
Representative Nancy Mace. Boating is not a luxury in South Carolina. It is a way of life.
Oh,
Our
okay.
state is home to more than 350,000 registered recreational boats. They're recreational.
So here's the thing. I'm not gonna. Yeah, continue. Sorry.
It's not a way of life if it's recreational. I'm sorry. And a marine industry supporting over 27,000 jobs. Those 350,000 registered boats support 27,000 jobs.
That's all right.
That's almost 10 boats per job.
Wow.
And 6.5 billion economic impact. Our no tax on boatload interest act extends the above the line loan interest deduction from cars to boats, allowing American families to deduct up to $10,000 annually in boat loan interest on American made boats. More affordable boats means more families recreating on the water, more marine manufacturing in South Carolina, and more investment in an industry already generating billions in economic impact. South Carolina strong. Thank
Oh
you,
my
Nancy
God.
Mace.
Okay, so here on the total luxury boomer communism.
Top response. What is total boomer luxury communism?
Oh my God. Okay, so here's the thing. I, of course, am not going to make the argument that we should, be taxing boat owners. But come on. Oh my God. I guess, bro.
Where are the other ones?
just the reaction that I guess, bro. Is this satire? Luxury, recreational.
Recreational.
So here's the thing. I could see an argument for this for businesses. I could see that. But
yeah, but that would, I think, already be the case. You're not taxed on your business expenses.
Yeah.
If you're like, say you're like running a fishing operation or like a, I'm
like
trying to think of whatever
an alligator tourism
maritime,
thing.
yeah, tourism thing, yeah,
and
whatever.
You married to Lana
You're
Del
not
Rey.
going to pay taxes on your expense towards your, capital.
Yeah, which is fair, but also, I'm pretty sure there was like a meme. I don't know if it was photoshopped or not, but it has Nancy Mace, like she's like out to dinner at like some barbecue place, and she's got like these massive bowls of beans in front of her. She's like, "Oh, I went out to try this barbecue place. It was so good," something like that. Somebody just responds to it, and he's like, "Why are you eating 2 bowls of beans, you nasty bitch?" Let me see if I can find this. Hang on. Oh, Nancy Mace beans. Oh, that's a lot of beans, you nasty bitch. Hang on. Ah, yeah, here it is. Okay. All right. All right, can you see it?
Oh, I need to hit watch stream.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, wait.
So she doesn't. So it's let me see if I can make it a little bit.
Can I zoom in? That's a lot of beans.
That is a lot of beans. That's a lot of beans, you nasty bitch.
Kids and their dad. It's not her husband though, right?
No, not. I guess not. I don't know. I don't know her story.
Why wouldn't she say that? I get like having like some nice generous sides with your barbecue.
That's a lot of fucking beans though. Also, she's not actually. There's no barbecue on her side of the fucking table.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like all the brisket or ribs or whatever it was like on the other side of the table.
He's just
like,
you get beans, bitch.
You got the peasant side of the dish.
You get the peasant side. It's like that meme with like the capitalist eating all the food on one side and you have the starving workers on the other.
This is how Plato wanted his slaves.
Yes. Vegetarians. Full of beans.
Full of beans. Yeah, Nancy Mace has been a gift for the meme community
For
in
sure. South
uh
Carolina.
well, I mean the whole US.
The whole US, yeah.
Between her like pumping gas in her pajamas.
Oh my God, that's right. Dude, talk about humiliation rituals. Just so yeah, I mean, we should probably, I mean, it's tax day, of course, but we should probably talk about the whole Uno reverso blockado situation going on in the strait. Like, what do we really think this is going to accomplish? Because this legitimately seems like Trump, in a fit of rage, was just like, oh, they think they can blockade the strait? All right, I'm going to blockade the strait too. Like, I can just see that happening. And JD is like sitting in the corner, like, oh my God. And Marco Rubio is like, great, now I got to go and be the guy who blockades the strait for the US. I don't have enough things to do. But
You don't
like,
think
what is.
he's working the ops on Cuba right now?
Oh, he absolutely. But like, what is the plan ultimately? Because I mean, are China and everybody else just going to be like, no, we're not going to go through the U.S. blockade? Like, they're going to go through it. They're going to try.
Well, I thought I saw something about China did run a blockade
Hmm.
and we didn't do anything about it.
Okay.
Um,
Let's see about that.
but I okay, here is a Zero Hedge article.
Mm-hmm.
I can read off or I can just share. Let me just share
Okay.
because it'll make more sense if I just share it. So this is the latest as of I guess sort of noonish today.
Mm-hmm.
Iran war is very close to over. That's funny because
We keep hearing that every week. It's very close to
says
being over.
every other day that like we won.
Yeah.
It's the most won war ever. You'll get tired of winning
So much
because
winning.
you declare victory every other day. Um, eager to agree to a peace deal, Trump says, adding, "We've beaten them militarily." The Axios cites progress towards framework to end war. Iran state media says halt to all petrochem exports. They cite possible compromise on Strait Passage.
Hmm.
Bloomberg AP are reporting the two sides have an in principle agreement to pursue further diplomacy. However, this is battled down as unconfirmed by Tehran and the U.S. officials. Pentagon is sounding thousands of additional troops to the Middle East in the coming days, and Trump claims that China's quote very happy quote the U.S. is permanently opening the Strait of Hormuz, and told Z that Beijing was not sending weapons defense items to Tehran. Significant Lebanon fighting continues. Israel issues more evacuation orders moving to the south. Tehran is outraged, threatens Red Sea shipping. Unconfirmed reports of 1 week Lebanon ceasefire about to take effect.
Hmm.
So, um, it as far as like the blockade is going. Let me see if I can find some more recent info about
Mm-hmm.
that. But essentially, if Iran is saying like, "Oh, the U.S. has declared a blockade and we're going to stop exporting," because like at the current state, like Iran was still exporting to their existing trade partners, namely China.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that would be nice for them, but if we issue a blockade, then we're like calling trump card to their trump card basically,
Yeah.
which is like, oh, you really want a blockade? Well, we'll blockade. um and it's somewhat intelligent in first to second order uh downstream thing.
Mm-hmm.
It could have the effect that like all of the oil tankers that are empty right now and like hoping to, you know, export oil are going to fulfill their contracts in the Americas, right? Which is what the Trump administration is hoping since they gained control of Venezuela in addition to U.S. oil fields, right, is that, hey, yeah, we're happy to sell you oil at this new inflated price, and like, I don't even know if it goes through like U.S. Treasury or something like that. Like, what is the situation? But
It goes from Venezuela to a shell company set up by Marco Rubio. That's technically also partially a government and nonprofit organization somehow, and then that just transfers the money directly to the U.S. Treasury. Something, I don't know. I'm making this shit up, but like, it's it's very interesting. I just
so
yeah.
like there's part of the Trump administration where like everything is perpetually stupid.
Yeah.
This applies to both the first and now the second Trump administration. But like there's parts of it that like a wrong clock is right twice a day sort of thing, where it's like, if you jack up oil and nat gas prices and blockade, like inadvertently, like find a way to blockade all of your allies that rely on the petrodollar, like the UAE and Saudi Arabia and Dubai and stuff, Qatar, Kuwait. If you find a way to legitimately blockade them, and then you are the only legitimate exporter of natural gas, like in the short term, like that's a pretty good deal.
Little Uno reverso going on there.
Yeah. But I think the all of the Arab countries that signed on to the Abraham Accords and are currently getting de facto blockaded by the United States
are probably not happy about it.
Yeah, they're like, wait, so you're telling me that I signed on to a peace agreement with Israel while they're invading all of their neighboring countries,
and now Iran is bombing me because of U.S. military bases I have in my country, and now my primary export is being
and I can't
blockaded.
even export my oil.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, man.
U.S. blockade. Like that's some like top tier like fucking shit. Like they're gonna um that is like 3 to 6 months out from like a major, not just, we're talking diplomatic incident, we're talking like Saudi Arabia will not have just ignored that the pilots of the planes were trading in their country and from their country. Saudi Arabia is going to be like actively participating in ways to destroy U.S.
1,000 9/11s. I actually had this thought the other day. I was looking at a map of like, they have like the Iranian blockade line, and then they have the U.S. blockade line, which of course like it's farther out from the strait. And just looking at this, and I'm just like, what if right now Baron Trump is just playing like Hearts of Iron 4 or something like that, and genuinely thinks he's playing Hearts of Iron 4, but really this is like an Ender's Game situation?
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, oh, well, I'll have my own blockade of the blockade. We'll just see what happens. I'll just wait it out. And like the U.S. Navy is like, are they serious? Who is issuing these orders? What is this, a video game? This is wild. Like, why are we doing this right now?
Like, honestly, removing like the personal aspect from it, having a military commander that believes it's a video game, that they can like make all the sacrifices like dispassionately, is genuinely something that, who wrote Ender's Game to begin with?
Oh, let me see. Not Arthur
It's not
C.
Heinlein,
Clarke.
right?
Ender's Game. Orson Scott Card.
I don't know who the fuck that is. Like,
he wrote it. He's the guy who wrote Ender's Game. Like, hang on. Orson Scott Card. Oh, let's see.
Right. Anything else?
Hang on, hang on,
I
hang
must
on.
assume he did.
No, he wrote Ender's Game and its sequel, Speaker for the Dead.
He looks like a dude that taught chemistry at my high school.
He does. He looks like he taught chemistry and like it was a fun class unless you disrespected him. Then he got like angry, scary. Let's
So,
see.
anyways, okay, so apparently he doesn't have more to add
He's
than
also
Ender's.
got. He wrote a series called The Tales of
Is he
Alvin
Mormon?
Maker. Is he Mormon? He look. Oh, yep. LDS fiction education, BYU and University
Yep.
of Utah. Yep.
Yep.
Let's see. Born in Richland, Washington, then moved to California. Family moved to Salt Lake City, Utah, so his father could finish his bachelor's degree. Then family was, they're moving all over the place. Oh, he lived in Orem for a little bit too. Yeah. Well, yeah, he's probably Mormon.
He's at least LDS
Oh, here we
adjacent.
go. Before graduating, Card served as a missionary for the LDS Church in Brazil starting in 1971. During his mission, he wrote a play called Stone Tables. He returned from his mission in 1973, graduated from BYU in 75, receiving a bachelor's degree with distinction in theater. That's brave, getting a theater degree at BYU. Okay. After graduation, he started the Utah Valley.
Somebody's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it. He started the Utah Valley Repertoire Theater
You
Company.
know, I bet the theater department at BYU like does not stop talking about him
Oh
because
my
they're like,
God.
Ender's Game is like a masterpiece. It is a really good book.
It is a good book. It was also the movie was okay-ish,
Yeah,
but no,
yeah.
the book is phenomenal. Card took part-time employment as a proofreader at the BYU Press. He got a master's degree in English at the University of Utah, and
What is it with LDS and like we got Twilight, we got Ender's Game, we got
Doom.
what?
Doom.
Doom, because Sandy Peterson was
Yep. I
and
remember
Halo.
and Halo, but I remember they interviewed him and they were just like, "Do you think Doom is a very like pro-Christian message?" And he goes, "You're slaying demons." That seems pretty Christian to me. And they're
Like
like,
I'm fine with that. Like
yeah,
it's cool.
yeah, man. Oh, excuse me. Oh man. So yeah, that's my personal take on this. Is that the U.S. military right now is essentially being Ender's gamed by Baron Trump, who has no idea that he is in the cockpit.
It's a combination of every sci-fi novel simultaneously because
Mm,
not only we're in the first stage, which is
mm,
Ender's Game.
mm,
And then at a certain point, like Baron realizes that he's not just playing like a special mod
mm.
of Hearts of Iron 4.
That he has this
He
power.
he he realizes it's for real, but then it switches into the Doom timeline.
Then it goes into
The
the
or
Doom time.
not the Doom, the
Dune.
Dune
Dune time. Like
timeline.
I was gonna say, yeah.
His father will get assassinated at some
Mm.
point,
His
or just die.
father, his mother, several members of like the Trump administration.
I think
Like
Melania makes it through. She's
maybe.
got to
Oh,
be
you
that
know what? Yeah,
big
she did. In
advisor,
that's
and
right.
she's
Yeah,
like the matriarch of the religious cult.
this is true. That's true. Okay, you're right. I forgot. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, Trump's gonna get assassinated. Barron's gonna have to go into hiding in like Slovenia.
we got we get like revamped like Yugoslav, like, oh, US goes through balkanization and then our own savior from the Balkans.
Yep.
Turns out the Balkans have just determined all of US or world history for I think forever,
Mm,
actually. Because it's like, oh, the Serbian nationalists assassinate Franz Ferdinand, that causes World War One, which collapses the Austro-Hungarian Empire and causes the German Empire to collapse and
mm,
triggers World War II. Um, okay, so that's the last century.
mm,
Century before that, um, the French Empire is
mm,
trying to consolidate control over the Catholic nations of Europe. They occupy Catholic Croatia and
Mm.
are aligned roughly with, the Ottomans, but cannot complete the continental system because of their involvement with the Ottomans and the Muslims. So, the British and the Russians oppose the French Empire, and yeah. So again, the Balkans
It's the
caused the
Balkans.
Napoleonic Wars.
Mm.
That's covering 2 centuries. Okay, let's go back to 1700s.
1700s.
How did the Balkans cause the 7 Years' War?
Hmm.
Um,
Hang on.
there's a way to justify that.
Between French and Indian, primarily in
I,
Europe.
I feel like the Austrian
You did have,
and
so France and Austria were fighting Great Britain and Prussia. You
yeah,
had Sweden, Russia, Third Sicilian, French, Third Carnatic War, Anglo-Spanish. Man, what a messy, it's messy bullshit. North America in Europe.
I feel like Austrian incursions into the Balkans in the 17th century
Mm,
triggered the Ottomans to ally with France and emboldened them to expand their territorial ambitions in the or the New World, I should say,
mm,
um, which in turn also triggered the 7 Years' War, which was really the first World War, right? Because
mm,
France and Britain were fighting in theaters as far as the Indian Ocean and the New World and Europe simultaneously. And then 16th century, how did the
mm.
Balkans cause that? I want to blame there should
Oh man, it kicked over to the intro. I hate this. I hate this program. All right, here we go. That's fixed. Come on, bub. No, you can't. You can't investigate my ice cream dish, which is now empty. Nice try. Nice try. Nice try. You can't have any ice cream. You see? 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 You're live right now. Do you have anything to say to the world? No? Okay. You're gonna get dead. Ow! Shit. I gotta trim your nails again, dude. Oh. So I decided to try Windows 11 out, which I can always roll back if I decide it sucks too much. But I need to configure something in Firefox because every time I open a fucking tab, it pops up about something. Okay, yeah. So I'm checking Roman territory right now in 63 BC. And at that time, Rome was in control of Hispania. It was in control of essentially like northern Italy, where Switzerland is, that mountain range right there. It was in charge of the other side, like the northern Balkans, Macedonia. It was in charge of most of the Balkan Peninsula at that point. It had a little bit of Asia Minor. Already had Africa and around Carthage and all that. So,
This is 63 BC.
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And so at that point, it would be safe to assume that Roman legions were comprised of individuals who were probably from the Balkans. So you absolutely had Balkan soldiers marching with Julius Caesar, 100%. 100%.
Okay. Here's the thing. Going back to Julius Caesar, is he personally had promised that they would gain farmlands
Mm,
in the newly conquered provinces of Dacia, which
hmm
is modern day Hungary and
hmm
Transylvania.
hmm
And that is the land grant reform that he proposed, that was opposed by the optimates, the
hmm
Senate um, oligarchs who wanted to expand slavery across all of the provinces instead of private land grant, um, Jeffersonian republicanism,
Hmm.
as it were.
Time really is a flat circle, man. Like,
It really is. And so, yes, the Balkans are responsible for the Roman Civil War
Hmm.
because um, and the assassination of Julius Caesar, because the Senate individuals who were opposed to Caesar and participated in his assassination did not want to grant land to the legionnaires who had fought to conquer Gaul
Mm.
and Dacia, which is modern day Balkans,
Mhm.
to the legionnaires. So yeah, essentially, might as well make Belgrade or Kosovo the center of the world. Like we should
Mhm.
establish the UN there, and we should have just like a constant debate about whoever wants to live in the Balkans.
You know
You
what?
know,
I think for the purposes of giving some attention to a country that maybe hasn't gotten it as much, maybe we should pick Albania. Maybe we could make the capital of the world there because at least like Albania has like a coastline.
who's got a lot of coastline is Croatia.
True. Yeah. You know who's got no
Because they
coastline because of Croatia?
specifically extend around Bosnia to exclude them from the coast.
Exactly.
But
Why
yeah, why not?
not?
Montenegro. Fuck it.
Montenegro. Fuck it. Whatever.
Let's make it all Casino Royale.
Exactly.
But,
Oh, oh, let's see. Oh, Slovenia's got a little coastline too. It's got a little sliver there.
yeah.
Hmm. What a fun little part of the world.
Saint Luke's the laughter says, "Boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I watch the Anti-Happening podcast on company time." Bro,
Hey,
you're working
hey.
at I assume would be evening hours in the United States.
which means you're probably like you're working a
And say,
factory or security or something. So
yeah,
like
if you're working a security job and you're just listening to a podcast right now, like
just
good for
leaning
you.
back in the chair, like
Yeah,
ah
that's
ha
fine.
ha.
You could take a shit while listening
Fuck
to this podcast.
hell
That'd be great.
yeah, man. Just let the sweet sounds of our voices ease that poop out of your bowels. Because you are not an astronaut and you do not have a special toilet that sucks the poop out of your butt.
See, there's a couple of the things we could cover, but
We already
maybe
did.
after.
We did like 1 or 2 episodes ago. We talked about the poop sucking toilet.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
I literally like I still there's gotta be there's probably one astronaut that we don't know about who like experienced the poop sucking toilet and like can't go back to normal gravity. Like whenever he's at home, like he has like a thing rigged
Can't
up where it
fill up
does
one of
it.
those like Japanese toilets that like gives you a rim job when you do it.
Exactly. Because he was ruined by zero gravity, taking poops in zero gravity. Okay.
Okay, let's close out like 3 minutes of final thoughts
Okay.
here.
What do we think is going to happen with the whole like the Strait of Hormuz and Iran situation? Like, I genuinely don't know what's happening now. Like, it made sense last week, and now I'm just like, if it's not Ender's Game, what is happening?
I could see that we call Iran's bluff on wanting to impose a blockade on the strait
Mm-hmm.
and say, "Hey, we'll impose a real blockade," and they're like, "That's not really what we meant."
Yeah.
And a lot of regimes in the modern era are incredibly fragile. I think
Mm-hmm.
even the U.S. regime
It's
is
very fragile.
incredibly fragile. And like think about how much money and resources and institutional support they have compared to Iran. And Iran just happens to be like, hey, we can continue to feed and pay not just feed, but like pay our soldiers and stuff like that, or
Mm-hmm.
the inner Revolutionary Guard, based on like us supplying oil to China or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like there could be a play there, but it could also spectacularly backfire where like all these Gulf state nations, Kuwait, Dubai, Qatar,
Mm-hmm.
UAE, um, all are just like immediately like not immediately. In the next couple of weeks, they could get to a point where they're just like, this isn't fucking working for us,
Yeah.
and we are going to totally flip on all the Abraham Accords. And Israel has really pushed their luck lately
Yeah.
on all
That's the
these
other thing.
things.
Like, I'm literally getting to the point where you're going to see like a massive, like larger than like the 6 Day War or anything like that, like anti-Israel attempt by several countries. I also am thinking about because like I've seen various articles about this from like Australia and other places that rely heavily on like oil and gas that comes out of that strait. Like, how much longer would you say before other places like the US? I would say our biggest issue isn't the amount of oil we produce, it's like the amount of refining capacity we have. Because you can
Yeah.
produce all the oil in the world, but if your refining capacity can't keep up with it, then like that's not necessarily going to reduce the cost of gas or the price of oil for you. So like from a supply standpoint, we would still have oil, but switching our refinement capacity to support more domestic production would probably take some time and it would definitely create a lot of problems. But like there are all of these countries that did rely on oil from Venezuela and Iran. Like China, for example, 20% of their total oil import, like foreign oil import, was from China. It was from Iran and Venezuela. They're getting nothing from Venezuela now I would presume. unless it's like really jacked up. Oh, and now they don't have Iranian oil. Now they've got nothing there either. So like they still have something, but they're also gonna start to feel it sooner rather than later. Their only other alternative would be like buying Russian oil, which is like highly marked up, and they're going to be competing with you.
Well, that's the thing is like Russian oil might be marked up, but also they eased the sanctions on Russia
Yeah,
to accommodate the fact that they're blockading Iranian oil or all Gulf oil at this point.
which does not exactly help the whole theory that Putin and Trump are secretly buddies or something like that, because all of a sudden, yeah, like they'll start lifting more Russian sanctions and Russia gets back to selling more oil, and it's just like, wow, really? The only other country that seems to benefit from this is Russia. Interesting. But the other thing, oh god, what was it? What was it? Oh shit! It was something tangentially related to countries running out of supply. Oh fuck!
With spring in the northern hemisphere,
Hmm.
but like for Australia and New Zealand or whatever,
Winter.
like it's fall
Hmm.
going into winter right now,
Yeah.
and like it's not particularly a big deal that like fertilizer isn't available.
Hmm.
But for us in the northern hemisphere,
Yeah, that's a big problem.
it's a big problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you don't have like it, like even if you live in an apartment,
Hmm.
you can have a you know plastic trash bin full of dirt that you grow potatoes in.
Something. Potatoes.
Yeah.
You got a little. Maybe you got a little bit of land outside. You got a small garden you can have. You can certainly have a couple of weeks worth of like Chef Boyardee and beans and other things just to keep you going.
Oh, totally.
Ugh.
I mean, the whole U.S. Food supply is set up around having like an obese population going into nuclear bunkers that will outlast the winter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you think about how we subsidize agriculture and I mean a lot of things make a lot more sense if you and think about everybody making policy decisions from 1945 to like 1990
Mm-hmm.
was planning on all of our cities getting nuked simultaneously. So it's like, oh, hey, we are going to store massive amounts of calories in cheese and dairy and like corn and soy and like preserved foods that last for months, if not years on end, all throughout the United States. And we are going to move all of our manufacturing out of the city centers and place our least economically productive people and all of them so that when you target them with a nuke, like the GDP per capita of the United States would probably go up
Yep.
if you were to nuke our all of our major
Which
cities.
we did kind of, you especially did kind of make jokes about, and unfortunately that caused quite the temper tantrum on Tumblr.
Oh wait, I can't remember.
It was
Oh,
tangentially
yeah,
related to nuking Indian call centers, which riled the leftists, sorry, leftoids up something fierce a couple weeks ago. Oh man.
yeah, but it's like, why is the most valuable real estate in like you know the United States, whether it's Chicago or LA or New York City or
Mhm.
Atlanta or whatever, um, why are they all occupied by people on government subsidized housing?
Hmm.
Why
Hmm.
wouldn't it be cheaper to like pay them to live out in the countryside,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Like, um, I like our housing policy, like our subsidized housing policy, only makes sense from a we think our cities are going to get nuked
Hmm.
in the next couple years
Hmm.
perspective. Because otherwise, you would say, hey, like all this wonderful real estate in New York City or Chicago or Los Angeles or Seattle or whatever should be occupied by very highly productive people working at highly productive factories,
Hmm.
um, or manufacturing
Which
sites.
used to
That,
be the case.
yeah.
But you're right.
That's,
It was there was a change, and so there actually something I wanted to kind of close with too is like there's a lot of chatter, especially now that the U.S. is blocking the strait. That like I saw a post earlier about how a lot of European countries, European allies, are kind of concerned that they're not going to be able to keep the U.S. a part of NATO anymore. Like the U.S. might pull out of NATO because I mean it's been talked about before, but the U.S. Trump especially is claiming NATO countries don't pay their fair share, which is objectively true. That has been an issue, and I'm not saying like these countries don't have the right to protest having U.S. military bases on their soil, but like if the U.S. leaves NATO and we stop essentially funding the defense of an entire continent from Russians, um, that would be an interesting world. And I think that's a world a lot of us would like to see.
well, like they're so morally perfect about like Russia occupying like eastern Ukraine and will like dedicate their entire, defense budget against it,
Mm-hmm.
while simultaneously saying like, oh, the US needs to find like peace instantly for our personal source of gasoline, which happens to be Gulf states.
Exactly.
Um like, okay guys.
Sure. All right. Yeah. Well. Oh, by the way, your allowance is being cut. So I know lots of you have really robust universal healthcare systems that I'm sure you can draw money from. Good luck with that. um.
Well, at a certain point, like like the Europeans have had it too good for too long,
Yeah. Which
and
I'm sure there's
it
there's an African warlord who would like watch this episode of the podcast and hear that and go, "Ha ha! Yes, yes, these white boys are correct."
and you know what, like they I don't want to say like they have to go through more suffering because they've gone through enough suffering at
Yeah.
a certain point.
At a certain
They
point.
really have. Even at the current point, like they've gone through enough.
Mm-hmm.
But their governments are not realistic about the problems that they encounter because they're
Yeah.
not accountable on a basic defense level to
Mm-hmm.
their people,
Mm-hmm. Which I could
right?
see certain countries like Poland and stuff like that probably adjusting a little bit better.
Well, even
But
like people are like blackpilling about like the Hungarian elections and stuff like that. And it's like
yeah,
he like the guy who won, like just because he's not particularly pro-Russian doesn't mean he's like a lefty, like let
exactly. No,
in all of Africa to the European Union or something like that
no,
guy.
exactly.
And same's true for like Maloney or stuff like that. It's like
Mm-hmm.
uh, for too long, like I would say the European right has been held back by the American right because of, in part, NATO.
Yep.
Be real. Um, but yeah, you get rid of that safety layer,
Mm,
and I think unfortunately one or two or more maybe countries are going to have to learn the hard way before the rest of the countries around are like, oh yeah, that's not what we're doing.
yeah, no.
I think Spain's in the middle of that right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're having an interesting time, but yeah, I would say in the next couple of weeks, I think there's going to be a lot of stories about certain countries like running out of like oil and gas and it being an issue. I think the Cuba thing is going to come to a head. I would say probably at the going rate around July 4th, the 250th anniversary of the US, the Cuba thing is going to like become a thing and I'm sure it's going to be propagandized to hell one way or another. Um but yeah, any thoughts, closing thoughts, predictions?
Hopefully everybody got a modest, honorable, honest refund.
Yeah, we hope you all filed your stuff on time. We hope you find ways this year to get more deductions and more credits and pay less taxes in general. It is, of course, you know, there is a day too. I want to say it's in May where it's just like, yeah, this is the official point where like you in a year's salary you're done paying taxes and the rest of the money you keep. Like I think we're like another month out from that, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank you for again joining us for another lovely episode of the Anti Happening podcast, where thanks to our regularly scheduled shows, nothing really happens. It's all just kind of just a big not happening. And again, we will still offer this service for you for free, but in the future, maybe I don't know, maybe you could give us a little tribute for our work for keeping you safe and also for providing hilarious happenings like the Uno Reverso blockado, cuz that is us, and now the Ender's Game theory involving that. You're welcome for that as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, we thank you. We hope you stay happy. We hope you stay healthy and safe out there. And as always, taxation is theft.